Discover the incredible moment a little girl and her dog transformed a cop's life in the forest. Sam Thompson trudged through the streets of his small town, the weight of his badge feeling heavier than usual. The town he once loved brimmed with laughter and community spirit, but now it felt like a hollow shell, echoing with stories of hardship and despair. His heart sank with every siren blaring in the distance, every complaint that came from the broken homes lining the back roads. The patrol car brought more pain than pride these days, and his spirit craved something sweet, a glimpse of joy, a reminder of hope. It was on one such day that he needed to escape. He ventured into the nearby forest, seeking solace among the sturdy trees and whispering leaves. Each step into the woods felt like a reprieve, the gentle rustling of nature calming his restless mind. However, that afternoon, his isolation shattered when he encountered a radiant burst of joy. Lily, a lively girl no older than 8, with a golden retriever named Max bouncing around her. With her wild curls bouncing as she searched, Lily scanned the ground for the pair of dog tags she had lost. Her laugh danced in the air, weaving through Sam's loneliness like a thread of golden sunlight. "Have you seen a shiny piece of metal?" Her eyes sparkled with hope, and their shared warmth made Sam's heavy heart lighten. In mere moments, they were lost in each other's stories. Lily spun tales of bravery and adventure, sharing her dreams of flying high, while Sam spoke in quiet tones, weighed down by the grim reality of his duties. He was fascinated and devastated at once. Her innocence lit sparks of joy within him, yet her laughter only highlighted the joy he lost in daily strife. Suddenly, as if reality had called upon them, Max bolted after a deer and disappeared into the thickets. Sam's instinct kicked in, propelling him to follow the girl, who raced breathlessly after her dog. They wove through the trees, heartbeats thrumming with urgency, and soon they stumbled upon something that shook Sam deeply, a makeshift home hidden away from sight. The family living there mirrored the struggles of so many in town. Their cramped refuge was filled with love, but it was evident that they were barely scraping by. Sam felt his breath hitch at the sight, the joyful spirit of Lily contrasting starkly with the very real hardships lurking within the forest's shadows. Flashes of his badge came flooding back, and he felt the tension rise within him. This was his community, and here were lives overshadowed by neglect. Helping those in need was his sworn duty, but it clashed with the innocent optimism of the girl by his side. As they approached the family, a bittersweet conversation began, and Sam wrestled with the reality that heroism wasn't just badges and authority, it was humanity in action. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the sun dipped lower, illuminating the forest in warm hues, Sam and Lily faced an emotional reckoning. The family must decide whether to accept help or succumb to pride. Sam felt the lingering questions wrapping around him. Was he strong enough to embrace the burden of community service? Could he act with the same courage that Lily did every day, believing in kindness? As the day's light began to wane, a question loomed larger than any he had ever faced. What could he do to truly protect this fragile web of humanity, when every life mattered and was interconnected? Sam's heart raced as he stood with Lily, each moment stretching into uncertainty. The family watched them, eyes flickering with a mixture of hope and skepticism. He wanted to reach out, wanted to tell them that help was on the way, but he was caught in his own doubts. What if they don't want our help? He wondered silently, glancing at Lily, whose innocent confidence seemed to radiate a different kind of energy. The little girl turned to him, her expression serious yet trusting. "You can help them, right? You're a cop." "Yeah, I can," but Sam's words faded, swallowed by the enormity of the situation. Could he really make a difference here? The weight of the badge felt heavier than ever. Lily nudged him. "You can't just stand there. They need us. Her boldness was a reminder of the inherent goodness in people, a sense of urgency he had long forgotten. Sam nodded, a flicker of determination igniting within him. Okay, he said, swallowing hard. He stepped forward, smoothing his police uniform as he approached the family, a father with weary eyes and a mother who seemed endlessly strong against the tide of trials. Hi, I'm Officer Thompson. The father offered a cautious smile, weary from carrying the worries of his household. We don't need trouble, officer. His voice was tight, a mix of pride and desperation. Trouble? No, not at all, Sam replied quickly. I just want to help. I'm here to listen, if you'd let me. There was no way he could walk away now, the warmth of Lily at his side igniting a spark inside him. His gaze moved to the small children playing nearby, their laughter mingling like distant music. It ignited something deep in Sam's chest. A resolve. Can I come in? He asked, hoping for an open door to continue this conversation, hoping to lean into their struggles, even if he didn't fully know how to help yet. The mother looked at her husband, a silent conversation in the exchange. After a heavy pause, they nodded, albeit hesitantly. As they stepped inside, the warmth from within seemed to wrap around him, contrasting sharply with the chill outside. The cramped space felt alive with mismatched furniture and toys scattered around, a reflection of chaos mingled with love. Sam took a deep breath, initiating a dialogue that felt as fragile as the room around them. What unfolded was a series of conversations filled with shared fears and dreams, laced with laughter and heavy sighs. Outside, Lily and Max played, their joy an inviting contrast to the gravity of the moment. Sam felt himself relax a little, those young souls reminding him of the vitality that should exist in every encounter. As the afternoon faded, he noticed the father's shoulders had lightened a bit after sharing their trials. Thank you for talking, officer, the man said softly, the tension in his voice easing. Sam felt the need to act solidify. This moment had the potential to become something meaningful. There are resources, programs to lend a hand, he said, determination in his voice. Let me guide you in the right direction. Gratitude flared in the father's expression. Meanwhile, Lily tugged on Sam's sleeve, eyes shining with anticipation. See? You're a superhero. In that moment, Sam knew this was just the beginning. It was more than just a badge, it was about humanity and connections. As they exited the small home, the warmth of potential reverberated around them, yet, just before they turned to leave, a loud crash reverberated from the woods. A shiver of trepidation ran down Sam's spine. He exchanged glances with Lily, who looked ready for anything, her optimism undeterred. What was that? She whispered. Sam's heart quickened, the need to protect once again at the forefront. He took a step toward the sound, drawing on that shared courage he had found. Let us find out surely, the forest held more secrets, and this adventure was far from over. With the sound echoing through the trees, Sam felt a rush of adrenaline. Every instinct honed from years on the force sharpened in that moment. Beside him, Lily's small hand slipped into his, her grip reassuringly firm. She nibbled on her lower lip, a mix of excitement and anxiety shimmering in her bright eyes. Do you think it's a bear? She asked, her voice barely above a whisper. I don't know, but we should be careful, Sam said, his tone low and steady. They moved closer to the tree line, keeping their eyes peeled for any movement. The crash resounded again, louder this time, followed by a rustling noise. Sam could feel his heart thumping in his chest as he thought of the family they had just spoken to. They had opened up to him, trusting him with their burdens. He couldn't let fear take over now. They needed to be brave together. With a gentle tug, he led Lily toward the sound. Each step felt weighty, charged with uncertainty. Stay close to me, okay? Okay. She replied, her voice laced with determination that chased away her earlier uncertainty. They pushed deeper into the forest, the trees casting long shadows as the sun dipped lower in the sky. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and pine needles. Every crack of a twig beneath their feet sounded loud in the quiet, every breath felt more pronounced. Suddenly, they rounded a cluster of trees and stumbled upon a sight that stopped Sam in his tracks. A fallen tree lay across a narrow path, and tangled in the branches was a young deer, caught and whimpering. Its large, frightened eyes reflected the twilight sky. "Oh no!" Lily gasped, her hand tightening around Sam's. "We have to help it," she urged, stepping forward slightly. "Wait," Sam said, holding her back gently. "We don't want to scare it more than it already is." He knelt down, trying to assess the situation. The deer struggled against the branches, fear evident in its every movement. "It's scared," he murmured. "Let us talk to it, coax it gently." Lily knelt next to Sam and began to speak softly. "It's okay, little one. We won't hurt you. We're here to help." Her innocent voice broke through the tension in the air. As she continued to comfort the deer, Sam felt warmth wash over him. Seeing Lily channel her spirit into this creature reminded him of the unity he had felt with the family back home. It was a reminder that kindness, no matter how small, could create ripples far beyond oneself. Slowly, the deer paused, its wide eyes locking onto Lily's. Sam felt the electricity between them, as if the world around them faded into the background. Just as Sam formulated a plan to help free the deer, a loud cracking sound echoed again, but this time from behind them. A sharp voice broke the moment. "What are you kids doing back here?" Sam whipped around, and his stomach dropped. Standing there was a large figure, shrouded in shadow and menace, a flashlight illuminating their scowl. "Step away from that animal." Panic erupted in Sam's chest. Dare he step in front of Lily? But before he could react, he noticed Lily's resolute stance beside him. She stepped forward a bit, her little face reflecting both bravery and defiance. "We're helping it," she exclaimed. This wasn't just about the deer anymore. It was a stand for compassion against fear. Sam steadied himself, standing shoulder to shoulder with her. As the figure approached, Sam felt a surge of determination. Together, they would face whatever threat was on the horizon, not only for the deer but for the purpose they shared. His heart raced anew, not just with fear but with courage. "Let us talk," he said, ready to defend Lily and the helpless creature, knowing this moment would shape everything that came next. But what would that encounter reveal? And would both he and Lily emerge stronger from what lay ahead? The large figure stepped closer, and Sam's instincts kicked in. His grip on Lily's hand tightened, heart racing as he squinted into the flashlight's glare. The man was middle-aged with a worn face, wearing a faded flannel shirt and distinctly heavy boots that seemed made for stomping through the thickest of underbrush. "What did I tell you? Get away from that animal," he barked. There was an authority in his tone, but also something unhinged, an edge of desperation. "We're helping it," Lily insisted, her voice small but fierce. Sam admired her courage, even as the shadows around them felt to deepen. "Helping?" the man scoffed, stepping further into the clearing. "Kids like you need to learn when to stay out of trouble." Sam felt a protective fire ignite within him. "Sir, we don't want to harm the deer. We just want to set it free." "Yeah, right. You think you're some kind of hero, huh?" He laughed sharply, shaking his head. "You'll only end up hurting yourself or that deer worse if you keep poking around out here." Lily's eyes widened, but she stood her ground. "No, sir. We're not scared of you. We just want to help." That small declaration echoed powerfully through the grove. In that moment, beating against the tension thick enough to cut, Sam could feel unexpected warmth seep into his heart. Lily's unwavering belief in their mission stoked an inner confidence. "Oh great," the man sniffed, folding his arms. "Now I have to deal with two stubborn kids. You're both going to get in trouble." "Just help us," Sam said, his voice steady. "If you know how to get the deer out safely, let us work together." No one wants any more fear or pain. The man's expression softened, if only just. The hard line of his mouth relaxed, but it remained a tight line of skepticism. And why should I risk myself for a couple of kids? Because Lily's voice wavered with a hint of emotion but held firm like steel. It's the right thing to do. Isn't that what we're all meant to do? With that, an unusual silence fell, punctuated only by the rustle of leaves and the deer's pitiful whimpers. Sam watched the man's face shift. The hardness began to melt, revealing reluctance mixed with something deeper, perhaps regret or high tension from his own past. You think you know the right thing, huh? The man challenged, folding his arms tighter in an effort to shield his heart. But out here, things get complicated. I've seen. He hesitated, then shook his head, as if trying to shake off his own demons. Suddenly the deer thrashed, yanking the man's attention, and panic washed back over him. Do something! He shouted, voice rising with urgency. Calm down. We can do this, Sam urged, stepping closer, careful to keep his movements slow and deliberate to not spook the deer further. Lily knelt lower, her whisper sweet and soothing. We're here. You're safe. Something shifted in the air, a pulse of understanding rippling among them. The man flashed a searching glance, desperation flickering in his eyes. Sam didn't miss it. This man was wrestling with something buried deep, a struggle that echoed through his stance and the furrow of his brow. As the man knelt next to them, it felt like an unseen bond was forming, a fragile thread of connection woven through the desire to protect. This small act was like a beacon, shining bright against the chaos of the past. They worked together, Sam carefully loosening the branches while the man helped steady the trembling deer. With Lily's gentle words wrapping around them all like a lifeline, a quiet courage emerged. As the deer broke free, bounding into the safety of the trees, a sudden understanding passed through Sam. Change was possible in unlikely moments and connections, but as they straightened, the man's face darkened again, a shadow overtaking the temporary triumph. You think you can just waltz into the woods, saving everything in sight? He stood tall, a wall erected once more. What's your name? Sam asked, sensing that they were just at the beginning of a much deeper conversation. Why does it matter? The man snapped but faltered, curiosity flickering behind his defenses. Because I think there's more to be said here, Sam replied, piercing through the darkness surrounding the man's heart. As the light from the fading sunset enveloped them, an uncomfortable silence hung between them again. What past scars would reveal themselves? And would they be able to confront them together? The man shifted uneasily, his features flickering between tension and the faintest hint of vulnerability. Sam could sense the walls he'd built around himself, and the weariness behind them. Look, my name is Tom, he finally muttered, the words escaping as if they were heavy stones dislodged from an overburdened heart. Not that it changes anything. It changes everything, Lily said, her voice brightening as she smiled. We're happy to meet you, Tom. You helped us save that deer. Tom regarded her quietly, a small smile attempting to fight its way through his guarded demeanor. But just as quickly as it appeared, it faded into a frown. Let us not pretend saving a deer makes us heroes, he mumbled, staring down at a patch of dirt, his frustration evident in the tight clenching of his jaw. But it was the right thing to do, Sam insisted, feeling eager to push through the man's reservations. Every small act matters, especially when you help someone or something that can't help itself. Tom scoffed, but Sam saw a flicker of something deeper in his eyes. A yearning, perhaps? Or regret? You really think life is about the small acts? Things don't always turn out like you want them to, Tom replied, voice low. Helping one deer doesn't bring back the ones I couldn't save. Lily placed a hand on Tom's arm, her innocent compassion almost disarming. But what if helping just one makes a difference? Doesn't that count for something? The air hung thick with emotion. Tom inhaled deeply, almost as if he was neither inhaling air nor oxygen but years of pain. It was a weight he carried, and Sam wanted to ease it if he could. "Listen," Sam said, veering to sincerity. "You told us how complicated things get. We know life is messy. But don't you want to feel like you've done something good?" Tom shifted again, this time fidgeting with the worn cuffs of his flannel shirt. "Good isn't always enough," he said quietly, shifting his weight as though the truth he carried was too heavy to hold for long. "Sometimes it just feels like a drop in the ocean." "But every drop counts," Lily whispered, her bright eyes searching his face for understanding. "And you don't have to do it alone. We can help too." Sam felt the moment hanging in the air, a fragile thread that seemed to spin between them. They were standing on the precipice. A leap could either bind them together or push them apart. Tom let out a low chuckle, but it lacked malice. "You really believe that, don't you?" "Yes." Lily beamed, her sincerity wrapping around him like a warm blanket. For the first time, a spark of genuine amusement broke through Tom's facade, a fleeting light in the darkness that had wrapped around him like a shroud. "You're both relentless, aren't you?" "Maybe that's what you need," Sam insinuated, daring Tom to give in just a little. "Someone to remind you that hope exists even in the wilderness. You just have to look for it." Tom looked into Sam's eyes, and in that moment, Sam saw the flicker of a decision. "You two are just kids. You don't understand the weight of the world or the mistakes I've made," he said quietly, shadows resettling around him. "No, we don't," Sam replied, refusing to back down. "But we want to understand. So let us talk about it. What happened?" Tom opened his mouth to respond, the tension in his shoulders shifting as a storm of emotion threatened to break free. As he met Sam's determined gaze, the sunlight dipped lower, casting long shadows across the clearing. The pressure hung heavily, laden with unspoken words and buried truths. Would he open up? Would Sam and Lily be successful in breaking through those walls? Tom took a deep breath, the air trembling with possibilities. "It all started one night in the woods," he confessed, and the vulnerability in his voice was like a dam cracking under pressure. But as the shadows gathered thick around them, a sharp noise snapped their attention away, the ongoing echoes of something unseen lurking just beyond the trees. "Did you hear that?" Lily's voice dropped, fear creeping in as it wrapped around her. "Stay close," Sam warned, heart racing as adrenaline surged through him. What had come to interrupt this fragile moment of connection, and would they be able to confront whatever it was together? Tom's heart raced, not just from the sudden noise but from the intensity of the moment. The shadows of his past clung tightly to him, just as the anxiety curled around the children like a cold mist. He scanned the tree line, the dark silhouettes appearing more menacing than ever. "What was that?" Lily whispered, her voice trembling as she clutched Sam's arm tighter. Tom's instincts kicked in. He brushed his flannel sleeves down as if that would somehow clear his head. Let us get behind those trees," he suggested, though his own fear churned in his gut. "We need to see what's out there before we move." Sam nodded, his expression fierce. "Right. Lily, stay low and quiet." He pulled her gently behind a large oak, the gnarled bark offering some semblance of security. Tom maneuvered to shield them with his body, feeling a sudden responsibility for their safety. The forest seemed to hold its breath as they crouched in silence. Then again, the noise, a rustling, a growl, and something else, a scurrying beneath the underbrush. It was an unsettling cacophony, causing the air to feel electric with tension. Tom's mind grappled with unfinished thoughts about the deer, about his mistakes. Yet, there was no time to ponder. He felt a flicker of protectiveness swell inside him, mixing painfully with the guilt he couldn't shake. "Stay quiet," he whispered again, straining to listen. As they peered out, a tangle of branches shifted, and just beyond the thicket, a large figure emerged. Emma, Tom's childhood dog, a golden retriever he hadn't seen in years, broke through. Her tail wagged wildly, ears perked up, oblivious to the tension as she bounded toward them. "Oh my gosh! Is that Lily's eyes widened in disbelief. Tom stumbled backward, struck by the sight. Emma? How? I thought you were lost. Sam wasn't watching Tom, his focus was solely on the dog. Lily, she's your grandmother's dog. His voice was a mix of laughter and disbelief. Emma trotted in a small circle around them, her joyous bark slicing through the air. It was a sound that could chase shadows away, pulling a smile from deep within Tom, even through his turmoil. To Lily, she was just a dog, but to Tom, she was a symbol of simpler times, a catalyst of forgotten warmth. But before anything else could happen, the rustling continued. There was something larger hidden just beyond the trees. Tom's heart raced once more, the past clashing with the present. Lily, Sam, we need to back up, he urged, urgency tightening his voice. What about Emma? Lily protested, kneeling down and holding out her hand. She's just a dog. She's not safe here, Tom remarked sharply, heat rising to his cheeks. Yet even as he said it, he longed to reach out to gather up the joy Emma stirred in him. In a sudden flurry, a wild deer sprinted into view, its dark eyes wide with panic. It dashed right by them, running straight toward the clearing where they had saved one of its kin earlier. Look! Lily gasped, her heart leaping as the deer vanished into the depths of the woods. They're together. Just like we were. Tom felt his chest constrict. No, he struggled for the right words, but the meaning outside of him surged. What was everyone supposed to do when fear forced them to retreat? Tom, Sam's voice broke through, pulling him back. You told us you wanted to help. We need to help them. We can't just run away now. You've done good before. We can do it together. The weight of that statement settled heavily on Tom's shoulders. Would he leave again? Let fear keep him from making a difference? Emma nudged against his leg, a small push of encouragement. They were all looking at him now, waiting for his lead. Breathless, Tom hesitated, eyes darting back to the retreating deer, and then to Lily and Sam. In that swirling mix of emotion and memory, hope flickered. Was he ready to embrace this chance for redemption? Okay, Tom finally said, voice a bit steadier. Let us see if we can help them. As they moved forward, an unsettling noise arose again, a snarl from the dark trees. Tom's heart lurched. What was lurking there, and were they truly ready for whatever came next? Let us go. Sam urged, grabbing Lily's hand without hesitation. And together, they stepped further into the shadows, towards the unknown, leaving the protection of the trees. Would they face the danger together, or would Tom slip back into the shadows of his past once more? Tom's senses heightened as they trudged deeper into the forest. Each crunch of twigs underfoot felt amplified, echoing in the stillness around them. He cast a glance back at Emma, who pranced beside them, blissfully unaware of the looming danger. A sense of bittersweet joy washed over him. This dog, so full of life, represented a connection he thought long severed. What if it's a bear? Sam whispered, eyes darting nervously between the trees. What are we even going to do? Tom swallowed hard. The thought had crossed his mind too. The woods were unpredictable, and they could be facing not just an animal, but the weight of Tom's own fears looming large. No one is going to turn back, right? Lily looked at them, her face determined despite the trembling in her voice. It struck Tom she was as brave as anyone he knew, fragile yet fierce. Right, Sam affirmed, squeezing her hand tighter. We're in this together. The confidence in his friend shone like a beacon, giving Tom the energy he desperately needed. Together, he repeated, as they moved cautiously toward the source of the sound. The sun drained from the sky, leaving behind layers of dusk that wrapped around them. Suddenly, a loud rustle erupted through the underbrush, making Tom's heart race even faster. Emma stopped, her ears perked, tail still wagging but with a new sense of alertness. It was almost as if she sensed the tension that hung thick in the air. Stay close, everyone, Tom whispered, instinctively placing himself in front, even though a part of him still battled the old fears. What if he failed them again? What if he couldn't protect them, couldn't redeem himself? But there was no time to linger in doubt. The sound came again, closer, this time a low, guttural growl that sent chills racing down Tom's spine. He exchanged looks with Sam and Lily, who stood frozen in uncertainty, and then, just as suddenly, an outline lumbered into view bigger than he could have imagined. A bear emerged from the brush. It was massive, with a coat of dark fur shimmering under the fading light. It seemed every heartbeat thudded loudly in Tom's ears, drowned out only by the growl of the beast. Run! Tom's instinct screamed even as he desperately scanned for an escape. But the kids remained rooted, shock pinning them down. Is it hurt? Lily's voice trembled as she stepped forward, eyes wide with concern as she took in the creature's tense posture. No! Get back! Tom shouted, feeling a wave of protectiveness surge through him, recognition dawning in the space between panic and clarity. We can't approach it, we need to think. Emma, in the midst of it all, barked abruptly, as if trying to break the tension. The bear turned its attention toward them, eyes locking onto Tom's. For a moment, time seemed to pause as a wild understanding flickered between them. Was it fear? Desperation? Something deeper? Lily's small voice cut through. Maybe he needs help. Help? Sam echoed, a mix of bewilderment and courage in his tone. How can we help a bear? Tom took a breath, realizing the truth echoed in Lily's innocent longing. Just maybe, we can, he murmured, stepping closer to her and Sam. What if he just wants to protect his own? Lily suggested, eyes aflame with compassion. Just like us? Tom's heart raced with the swelling possibility. It was like a mirror reflecting all his insecurities and longings, a challenge to step up, not just for the bear but for the children standing by him. Okay, let us approach carefully, he breathed out, determination edging his voice. But we have to be smart. Together. As they took a tentative step forward, the bear shifted, its body instinctively coiling, preparing to defend itself. In that moment, Tom understood the gravity of what they were doing, a choice to connect with something wild and untamed, but just as hope and determination began to swell within them, another sound erupted from the woods, a crack, loud and threatening. All eyes darted around, panic rushing back. What else was out here? Sam's whisper was barely audible beneath the rush of their hearts. What do we do now? As looming darkness surrounded them, Tom held his breath, teetering on the edge of a decision. Were they truly ready to face whatever came next, together? The growl of the bear echoed in Tom's ears, but he barely registered it. His mind raced. The crack in the woods rang in his thoughts like a siren. Something was out there. Something else. Everyone, stay together, Tom instructed, his voice hoarse but steady. He felt the tension in the air and could sense it coursing through his friends, wrapping around them like fog. He scanned the terrain, debating the safest way to retrace their steps. Lily stood beside him, eyes brimming with determination, while Sam clutched her hand, breathing rapidly. Tom, what was that sound? We should, he hesitated, glancing at the bear, then back to Tom. We should go back now. But the bear remained still, almost frozen, watching them with intelligent eyes. Something about the creature felt different, as if it were more than just an animal. Perhaps it was afraid too. Tom took a hesitant step forward, beckoning the bear ever so slightly. It's okay, he whispered, channeling all the courage he could muster. We're not here to hurt you. Emma, embedded in the moment, sensed the anxiety washing through Tom. With a quiet bark, she padded forward. The bear shifted its focus from Tom to the dog, confusion flickering in its gaze. Emma, no. Sam whispered urgently, but the dog was already 2 steps ahead, oblivious to the danger. Wait, Tom called, panic rising. If Emma is close, maybe the bear will feel less threatened. He glanced at Lily and Sam. Trust me. Lily nodded, unseen bravery in her eyes. We have to show it we mean no harm. The bear, noticing Emma's playful demeanor, relaxed slightly, its growl subsiding into a low rumble. Tom felt his heart slow for just a moment. Perhaps they could communicate. It was a chance, he had to take it. He took a few slow steps toward the bear, offering an open palm. Please, we want to help, he spoke softer, quieter, as if the winds themselves might carry his words. The forest fell still. Suddenly, another cracking sound startled the bear. It recoiled, poised to run, but Emma boldly barked again and bumped her snout into the bear's leg, a gesture of friendship. Tom's heart raced as fear gripped the children once more. Emma! Tom shouted. Get back! But the dog sensed the urgency, a friend lost in an unfamiliar world, much like Tom had felt for so long. At that moment, Tom saw the softening look in the bear's eyes. Instead of attacking, it was retreating away from Emma, slowly edging backward through the shadows of the forest. See? Lily exclaimed, eyes wide with wonder. He doesn't want to hurt us. He just wants to be safe. But before Tom could process her words, another snap echoed, this time closer. The realization washed over him in waves. The danger wasn't just the bear anymore. Stay alert, Tom commanded. They turned their heads, scanning their surroundings. The darkness felt deeper, closing in around them, casting an unsettling shadow. Maybe we should, Sam started, but another figure emerged, a silhouette moving through the trees, fast and purposeful. Tom squinted into the gloom. Was it another animal? Or something more human? Whatever it was, it wasn't friendly. What now? Sam's voice trembled as adrenaline kicked in like a storm. Tom stepped closer to them, body tense, words barely escaping his lips. Whatever happens, we stay together. This was it. He felt the weight of their trust pressing down on him, the opportunity to protect them, to make a choice for them all. Just as he braced for the unknown, the figure broke free from the shadows, revealing a piercing gaze. You're not safe here. Tom's breath caught. What now? A rush of emotions flooded him. Would he be able to save them, to keep his promise? With uncertainty hanging thick in the air, he knew one thing: this was just the beginning of their perilous journey. But would they rise to meet the challenge together or crumble under the weight of fear? The words hung in the air, sharp and tense. Tom's heart raced as he stared at the figure, trying to read the emotion etched on the stranger's face. It was a man, dressed in dark, tattered clothes, with a rough beard framing his deep-set eyes. He appeared both weary and determined. Please, the man urged, his voice strained but urgent. You have to get out of here before it's too late. Who are you? Tom shot back, protective of his friends. The bear had slipped deeper into the trees, but the man's presence filled the space with fresh anxiety. What do you want from us? I want to help. The man stepped closer, hands outstretched, palms facing the ground, calling back the panic that threatened to erupt. There are things in these woods. He hesitated, scanning the perimeter as if afraid to speak too loudly. Things that aren't friendly. You must listen to me. Lily stepped slightly from behind Tom, her curiosity piqued. What do you mean? What's out here? The man's eyes flickered to Emma, who was still playfully bounding around. The bear isn't your problem. But there are others. They don't care if you're lost or just passing through. They will hunt. What are you talking about? Sam's voice cracked, fear suppressing his usual bravado. It's not safe. The man shouted, urgency creeping into his tone. You have to leave. Follow me. Tom felt a surge of protectiveness. We can't just leave everything behind. We have to find a way out ourselves. No. The man's voice rose above the rustling trees. You think you can find your way? The forest doesn't want you here. It's twisted in ways you can't understand. An eerie chill crawled up Tom's spine. He had always considered nature a place of solace, but the desperation in the man's voice made him question everything he thought he knew. "Why should we trust you?" Tom demanded, stepping forward, sensing a blend of confusion and fear radiating from his friends. "Because I'm already lost," the man replied, his facade crumbling for a brief moment to reveal something deeper, a vulnerability that resonated with Tom. "I've been here, trapped. I know what lurks in the dark, and it's not just the animals." "What do you mean?" Lily asked, stepping forward as if compelled by a force she couldn't name. The man paused, searching their faces for understanding. "I can show you the way, but we have to go now." Tom shot a glance at Lily and Sam, the urgency swirling in their eyes mirroring his own uncertainty. He could feel the heat of the moment pressing against them, and he wanted so desperately to scream for their safe return home. "Okay," Tom sighed, inhaling deeply. "But if we're going with you, you have to promise you won't lead us into danger." "I promise," the man's voice softened, a flicker of hope igniting. "We'll move fast, and if we stay close, we can slip back into the safety of the trail." As they turned to follow him, Tom took one last look behind them at the bear, who stood still and silent, a lingering enigma in the dim light. Was it observing them? Or waiting for something else? With their newfound leader, they plunged deeper into the twisting mess of trees and shadows. Every rustle around them tensed Tom's body, awareness heightened to the very tips of his fingers. But just as they began to find a rhythm, the man stopped abruptly, turning his head sharply to the right. "What now?" Tom whispered, feeling his instincts flare once more. "There's something coming," the man said, breathless. "We need to move quickly." A low growl erupted from the underbrush, far more menacing than the bear's. "Stay together," Tom called out, heart racing. What was out there, and could they survive yet another threat? The night was just beginning to wrap around them like a cloak, and the darkness promised more than just shadows. Would they find safety before the unknown closed in? Every heartbeat echoed in the tense silence as Tom urged Lily and Sam to stay close. The cold air thickened, wrapping around them like an unwelcome shroud. The dark trees loomed, their branches seeming to claw at the sky, but in this moment, a sense of resolve washed over him. With every step, he felt more alive, more connected to the purpose he'd long been missing. "Go," the man urged, eyes darting between the shifting shadows. Tom led the way, his heart pumping with newfound courage and the weight of responsibility for the two children behind him. They sped through the underbrush, the adrenaline driving them forward. "Tom, what's happening?" Sam asked, voice shaking. "What's after us?" "I don't know," Tom replied, trying to sound more certain than he felt. "But we need to keep moving." Another growl resonated through the trees, closer this time. Every nerve in Tom's body lit up, but he couldn't let fear choke the hope. He thought of Lily's bright spirit, her unwavering belief that they could help. He couldn't let darkness eclipse that light. They pushed forward, the man leading them along a narrow path that twisted like a maze, glancing back frequently. Each glance sent sparks of panic through Tom. He wanted to protect them. He wanted to ensure they would all see the morning sun again. "Why can't we just climb a tree?" Lily shouted, trying to lighten the mood, but fatigue crept into her voice. "It's not safe," Tom called back quickly. "We have to trust the path." Suddenly, the man stopped again, raising a hand, signaling for silence. The air crackled with energy. Even the forest seemed to hold its breath. "There's a clearing up ahead, we can regroup there," he whispered, tension weighing heavy in each word. Tom nodded, determination swirling within him. "Let us go." As they crossed the threshold into the clearing, the moonlight bathed them in light, momentarily washing away the darkness. Tom looked around, scanning for signs of a threat. "I'm not sure they'll follow us here," the man said, hands resting on his knees as he caught his breath. "Who?" Lily demanded, eyes wide and curious. The things out here they don't like openness, they prefer the shadows. Just then, a rustle broke through the silence, sending a jolt of fear down Tom's spine. But it was only Emma bounding through the trees, her golden fur shining like a beacon in the darkness. "Emma!" Lily called with delight, kneeling down to greet her. Tom felt relief surge into his heart as she came to Lily, tail wagging, oblivious to the surrounding tension. "See? No matter how dark it gets, there's always light," Lily exclaimed, wrapping her arms around her furry friend. Tom's heart swelled. Beneath the weight of shadows, he felt hope blossom just like the dawning day. "Alright, what's our next move?" Sam asked, glancing between Tom and their new guide. The man took a moment, his breath steadying. "We've made it this far. If we can stick together and make our way back to the town before he could finish," a low growl rumbled through the trees. Tom's heart raced again, instincts roaring to life. He glanced around, grounding himself in the moment. "Okay, everyone, we need to stay calm. Whatever it is, we can handle it together." Together they repeated, uniting in the strength of their shared words. The growl sounded again, closer this time, but now, reinforced by hope, they stepped forward in unison. Tom's pulse quickened as he turned to face whatever shadows lingered behind their momentary victory. Suddenly, from beyond the trees, emerged the bear again, towering and imposing, yet seeming less menacing than before. "Wait!" Tom shouted, hands raised. "It's just the bear." "What is it doing?" Sam asked, voice taut. "It's trying to tell us something. This is a sign we're on the right path," Tom urged, taking a deep breath. Lily knelt. "We can help you, we can help each other," she called out softly to the bear, so small standing in the moonlight, yet resolute. In a moment full of intensity and raw emotion, the bear paused. It made eye contact with Lily, unwavering and strong, then it shifted, turning away slowly, heading deeper into the forest. "That's it!" Sam exclaimed, eyes wide. "It's showing us the way. Come on, we follow," Tom shouted, spurred by a rush of courage. Following the bear's lead, they pushed through the trees together, each step igniting a warmth of unity within them. The very shadows that promised danger turned into mere landscapes of possibility. With each stride further into the forest, they buried their fears, emerging into places of connection and kinship. They faced every growl together. They would chat about dreams and fears under moonlit skies. They would walk forward into a world together, grown somehow stronger through the bonds they forged. By the time dawn broke, illuminating the forest path, Tom realized something essential: being lost didn't mean being broken. It meant finding the courage to stumble across one another, to embrace new identities forged in fire. He looked at Lily and Sam, feeling a warmth of belonging. Together, they whispered beneath the morning light as the forest opened around them, a boundless expanse of hope waiting just beyond the trees. "Let us go home," he said, gripping their hands tighter and smiling wide. Together, unashamedly buoyed by the shared belief that they could transform fear into hope, they ventured onward, facing all that came next as a family. Now, the moment is yours. You need to subscribe now to our channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Your support makes a huge difference. Comment below with your reactions and feelings about this heartwarming ending. And share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this incredible transformation. Don't wait not even one more second to share. Join our community and let us grow together.